Hello, I'm Bob Mayer, and welcome to my series of videos on preparation and survival. This one is about free apps. We carry our cell phones with us everywhere, so it pays to have things on it that can help you. And there's a lot of free apps. I'm also going to have some paid apps a little further on that I think are useful. First aid, emergency, communication, natural disasters, location, GPS, plant, animal, ID, stars, knots, survival, and more. But before I get into the specifics, apps are good, but there's some things you have to think about. First off, your phone needs to be charged. That's kind of important. I always carry a battery pack with a small solar face on it on my small day pack and in my Jeep, so I can charge my phone. Your phone could be damaged, so you can't count on it exclusively. I always carry paper maps. You need to have your phone with you. That helps. And some apps require you to be able to access a network, so we'll talk about that too. I have all these apps I'm going to talk about on my phone, but also when you download an app, just don't download it and forget about it. Check it. Open it up. Some of them require you to register, sign in. It's a pain, but you don't want to have to do that when you absolutely need the app, like performing CPR or something. I have the links for all these on my webpage. That red box is on it, and a QR code right there, bobmayer.com. You click on that red box, you get all the gear I talk about, direct links to them, and direct links to all the apps, not just the ones I'm listing here, but even more than that. I also supplement all my apps with ebooks that I download on my phone. I also have paper copies of them. I have a presentation on that on a survival library. My solar power slideshow, I talk about how to recharge your cell phone, things I recommend having. So we started with the American Red Cross, has a first aid app, has a lot of good stuff on it. Definitely worth having. It's like having a survival guide on first aid in your pocket at all times. This one, CPR and choking, I have on my first thing, my screen that comes up on my phone, because it's critical. Even if you know how to do CPR, which you should know, it helps to have the app. Some of these apps will call in 911 while you're automatically call 911 while you're doing it. They estimate 200,000 people could be saved every year if people know how to do CPR. Road ID, this is an interesting one. Actually, I think they're charging for it now. But I use it when I go out by myself in the woods or I go biking. I turn it on, and what it does is it notifies the people you list that you're doing this activity, and then if you stop, you set a time limit. I got 4 minutes. If I'm motionless for 4 minutes, it starts sending an alert. It alerts me, and then it'll send an alert to the people I list. I say 5 minutes there, but I've dropped it down to 4 minutes. And that's also useful, actually, if you lose your phone while doing like single-track mountain biking. I've done that. Wiped out, the phone went flying. I don't know where it is. It's in the bushes somewhere, and you just wait 4 or 5 minutes, and your phone will start chirping, and you can find it again down there. Yeah, they're starting to charge for $30 a year. It's definitely worth it, though. My wife has my alert on it, and my son has the alert on it. I really like the Gaia app. This is what I use when I go boondocking, out in the woods, driving on back roads. You get a 20% discount using my affiliate link. I think it's $32 a year now. I just renewed my own, which actually cost me more because I didn't use my own affiliate link. But you have all these layers you can bring up on the Gaia app, and it's a lot of fun. Public land, wilderness areas, forestry roads, National Geographic trails, illustrated precipitation forecast. Historic topo was interesting. They've got a 1930, and they got one earlier than that. Take a look at what the old maps in the area you're going through look like. They've actually come together. I used to play with them. You can do percentages on all your layers. I got to the point where they have put out a off-road combination that's the best one. And this is what my Jeep looks like. I have my main map, but I also carry an iPad with the Gaia app on it there to the right. And a lot of times I have Gaia on both of them with different overlays emphasized and at different scales to keep track of what I'm doing, where I'm going. If you live in a hurricane area, definitely have the hurricane app from the American Red Cross. Wildfire app, really good idea wherever you live. Earthquake alert for Apple and Android. This one, I track storms on it. Seems like we're getting more and more storms lately. We see a lot of flooding. If you want to keep track of what the weather looks like on you in a live feed, this is a good app. WeatherBug is a good app also. Get the fastest alerts to severe weather. And all these apps, play with them and see what kind of alerts you can get. Disaster alert. I have this one not currently sending me alerts because it does everything all over the place, but you can personalize it. FEMA has their app. It's kind of useful. If you do get with a disaster, it'll give you information on what to do and especially what to do afterwards. The CDC has an app for what it's worth. I like this one, Skyview. When I was out in Valley of the Gods, out in Utah, looking up at the sky, you want to know what things are. I mean, most of us know the Big Dipper and the North Star and the Southern Cross, but all of the stars and even satellites passing overhead. Bird Guide, we just got a big owl in our backyard here, but I could actually see how people get into bird watching. They're really fascinating to watch. Plant, animal, and insect ID. This helps. Like, what is that thing that just bit me? Look it up. Plant Snap ID. We play with that even here in the house. My wife and I have a lot of plants everywhere. We're like, people give her plants that are dying to resurrect them, and we're like, what did we just get? Is this thing going to eat us? Flashlight app. I think it's built into the iPhone now. This one's worth paying for. I don't care how well trained you are in knots. Unless you use them all the time, you really got to look them up. Could I make a Prusik knot right now from memory? Probably not. But might I need a Prusik knot? Yes. Wild edibles, good idea. Before you start stuffing things in your mouth, find out if it's going to kill you. Scanner radio is a really good idea because this is a good way of knowing how bad things are. Listen to what the police and the fire department are saying. Again, caveats. Some require you to access a network. Some require downloads with data. Do it before you need it. Like the Gaia app, especially map apps. I download all the tiles. I pretty much got almost the entire United States downloaded on my iPad in a couple of layers. Useful because if you get out of range and you don't have it, you just get this blank screen on your app. My survival library is a different presentation. Again, this is where all the stuff is. These are my books, the Area Study Workbook, Survival Guide. The camouflage one is just the survival portion of the prep guide. My little black books are getting more and more of those. And this is my background, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And stay safe out there.